Okay, hi everyone. Good evening. Welcome to day 10 of our JavaScript tutorial. Okay, this should be the first class of this week. So we looked at MVC, like very basic. We looked at an introduction to MVC, I think from Friday or Saturday. I think I started from Saturday. But we're going to be looking at MVC this week, and we're going to be doing some cool stuff. But before I go ahead, I think I gave a little exercise like assignments on plain JavaScript last week, right? So after this class, I'm going to send across a form for submission, right? So I think the exercise can be done in a file. If you did it in different files, maybe you can just, let me see, you can just use one file to save them. Let me just, for example, maybe script.js, then maybe use comments to separate each question, maybe question one or stuff like this. I want it in a file, right? And you're going to host it on GitHub, then just share the link, right? So I'm going to send across instructions on how to do that after this class. Okay, that's that. So today we want to look at MVC, right? We started with it on Saturday, and at the end of today, you should understand maybe how a web app works, how a dynamic web app works, and how they communicate to maybe serve content on the view. Then at least everyone should have, I want to also confirm everyone has Node installed, and everyone here is going to build a basic Express server and maybe output a hello world on the page, right? So we're going to get there. So let's just go into MVC, right? Okay. So MVC it's a design architectural pattern in software project, right? So again, like I said on Saturday, but I'm going to assume not every one of us that is here was here on Saturday, right? So building, so far what we've been doing, right, with our whole HTML, CSS, and JavaScript sites, right? We've been building static websites. We call them static sites, right? So like just like maybe informational sites, your portfolio, or maybe an information site, or maybe about us or about a website, right? So those are all static sites, right? Their content are static. They are not dynamic sites. So dynamic sites or dynamic web apps are softwares that kind of need maybe user inputs or the content changes based on maybe a logged in user or the person browsing, right? So dynamic site changes based on some dynamic features. So in building dynamic sites, we use different software patterns to kind of design the applications. And one of them is MVC, right? So the MVC model it's just an acronym for model view controller, right? It's a model view controller acronym, right? So it's a design pattern, right, used to build software projects. Here I wrote software project, but just see it as dynamic software project, right? And so in MVC, the application development are divided into three interconnected parts, right? Each of these components are built to handle a specific development aspects of an application, right? So if you can see, they are like three in one. The name is MVC. The meaning is models, views, and controllers. We're going to go into each of them and see how they relate to kind of make up a full-fledged application, right? So MVC is one of the most frequently used in also case. So most programming languages use MVC, right? Salesforce uses MVC to an extent, but Salesforce adds an extra controller layer with Apex, right? So we're going to get into Salesforce, but if you learn this, or this will just be like a boilerplate or a good starter for you if you just know how to build software with the MVC models, right? And we're going to be learning with JavaScript for this week and next week before we get to Salesforce. So, okay, the big idea behind MVC is that each section of your code has a purpose, and each section of and those purposes are different, right? So some of your code holds the data of your app, some makes your app look nice, the view, and some control how your app function, right? We're going to go into each and every one of these sections, so we're going to understand it more, right? So before I go, MVC is just a design pattern, right? So by design pattern, we mean how projects and codes are structured, right? So, and it stands for models, views, controllers. So you're going to kind of design or structure your app like broken down in three interconnected parts, right? So I am just going to go into explaining little details about the three of them, while I concurrently kind of use, there's an image I have here that I want to illustrate. So I'm going to just switch between the image and that section, right? So I'm just going to go back here. Yeah, so the model, right? Please can we mute our mics? Okay, so again, the model, right? So we have the model view control. I'm going to start with the model. So like I said previously, right, what we're building, or maybe any information site or any static, or every HTML and CSS site we've been building are just static site, right? They most times don't require data to function, right? So if you can remember when I was giving examples, I would have to create a data, or maybe, okay, yeah, I think I will have to create, I was trying to give so many examples, and I do this so many times, right? Const user equals maybe an object, or const cars. Yeah, I think I used cars a lot, equals maybe our famous array of cars, right? Saab, Ford, and so on and so forth, right? So this is like, I was just trying to replicate data, right? I was just trying to replicate a data model. So in dynamic applications, you need a way to store data, just like how we have objects in our Salesforce org, right? So for an application to work fully well dynamically, right, you need to store data and have access to manipulate data. So the model layer in MVC represents the structure of the application. It maintains the data of the application, right? So essentially, it's the database part of the application. So no matter what I write here, the easiest way to understand what model is model represents data, right? Maybe it's when we get there, you're going to see it tells you how to store the data, saves the data in the database, creates a table, just like when you're creating an object. So you create an object is a table, you create the fields and associations, you create the data type, if it's text, dates, number, currency, formula. So all those are just model related, right? So it's like the database part of the application, right? So the model determines how a database is structured, defining a section of the application that interacts with the database, right? So Salesforce just provides, when I mean Salesforce, I mean the user interface, right? So when we get to coding with Apex, you're still going to write this by hand. So the user interface just gives us a clean way to just, excuse me, do all this. But what you should know is when building a dynamic application or using, excuse me, or using the MVC model, you're going to have to define how your data is going to look, how it's going to be stored, and what fields, or maybe fields and data types you want to use, right? So the M in MVC is for model, and model has it has everything to do with data and database, right? Then view, again, quite descriptive, right? View is what is presented to the user, right? So everything you see here, or everything I'm seeing here, is handled by the view, right? So the view is presented to the user. Views utilize the model and present data in a form the user wants, right? So the application, wherever it is going to do its whole computation. Like, for example, I remember we did some for loops on the data, right? We did some for loop on cars and did some things. So whenever we did, okay, for example, I think we did one math function at a time. I'm just trying to use what we've done in the past. We're going to use controllers to demonstrate this today. Maybe we did an event listener. We kind of, computed, okay, let's say when we added two numbers or divided two numbers, we updated the DOM in the function with the document dot get element by ID, blah, 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 .inner HTML, right? So that is we manipulating the view. And we're going to see that or how to do that, not just from a JavaScript file, but from a controller or a route controller, okay? So view is everything the user can see, right? So view is the output of whatever happens in the backend. Then the controller, excuse me, controller handles the request of the user, right? So I'm going to explain how a request to the server works. Maybe when you click on a link, I'm going to explain how it works if you don't know about that. So a controller handles the request of the user and then generates appropriate response, which is fed to the user, right? So a controller acts like as a liaison between the model and the view, receiving user input and deciding what to do with it. So controller is just like the brain box or the engine, right? So if I click on Python, if there's a need to kind of do any computation or manipulation of data to output this page, it is done in the controller, right? But I think right now, all these are just static assets and static pages, right? If I click on Python syntax, okay, let me just use Java. If I click on JavaScript statements, whatever happens at the back end, so this goes to the back end, whatever happens to display this page happens in the controller. And we are going to see that shortly, right? So I am going to just scroll down to this image to use an image to just explain it, right? So this is, before we jump into practical, this is our model view controller, right? So let's try make it make sense with an image, right? Okay, so we are building an application. This is the view. Your HTML, CSS, JavaScript, this is what the user, anybody using our application will see, right? So user sends a request. I click a link. I click on JavaScript introduction, right? I'm going to explain how requests to servers work much later. Sends a request to the controller. The controller has a router or routing system that handles the request. So it checks if there's need. So it checks the URL, right? We are going to be the one, right? So every controller is pre-written, right? So you're going to decide what each controller does, right? So if it's a controller that doesn't need to manipulate data, you can just send the response directly back to the view. Or if it needs to manipulate data, let's say you clicked on, okay, I want to see all mentors, I want to see all accounts. Okay, let's say you go to Salesforce and you click on the accounts tab. The controller might like kind of goes to the model or wherever the objects are saved, gets all, if you know what that means, gets all the model and kind of gets all the details, then displays the view, right? It's either it goes like this, so this image, they kind of turn the arrow, right? So it displays the view. So in actual sense, the view sends a request to the controller. The controller has a mechanism called routing, a routing system or the router. If there's need for data, the controller goes to the model to get the data and sends the response back to the view. Or better still, comes back to the controller when it gets the data, manipulates the data, and sends a response to the view. So in a nutshell, it's view, controller, model, then back to view. So this is why they are all separated in different layers. So you could kind of manage how requests and responses are sent, and kind of, because there are many times you're going to send requests to the controller, you don't need to get data to send the response, right? You just need to kind of reroute to a page. So in a nutshell, the model view controller will explain, okay, this is another image. Let me see if this explains it better, right? Let me see, okay, I don't have an image. So like, okay, for example, this is the user. The user sees the view, right? When the user sees the view, the user makes a request to the controller manipulates the model updates the view. So I think this is a little bit easily descriptive, right? So if you understand these concepts, though we are going to get into practicals today, if you understand this concept, it's going to be easy for you to understand whatever we are going to go into, right? Okay, so again, the user sees the view. So whatever is on the view is what is already rendered. So if the user clicks on a link or tries to maybe make a request to another page, so if I just go to JSLect, I'm sending a request to the controller via routes. The route manipulates the model if there's a need to call data and updates the view. Okay, so I'm just going to go back before I move out of this and just kind of explain it again and see if anyone has questions, right? So the model is the data layer, right? When you're building applications, for example, maybe you're building a to-do app, right? You need to save to-dos, right? You need to save dates, you need to save lists and stuff like that. So why the model is coming in maybe building a web app is, with static sites, you most times don't need to save data, right? So it's just an informational site. But when you start building software, so application, or dynamic application, you need to persist data to the database, right? So we have the models for databases, view to render whatever the user is going to see, controller to kind of manipulate data, do some kind of logic and render the view, right? So I think I wrote something. It's the brain, it's like the brains of the application and ties together the model and view. Okay. I have like a couple of sections, but before I go into the next sections, I'm just going to give this real world example, then I'll take question if anyone has any question about just the definition of MVC before getting to the practicals, right? So MVC is helpful when planning your app. Okay, so let's imagine you want to create a to-do list app, right? This will let users create tasks and organize them into lists, right? So the model is a to-do in a to-do app might define what a task is and what a list is. That might define what a task is and that a list is a collection of tasks, right? So the model might say, okay, we have a task table and we have on different tasks, we can have maybe task start time, end time, and stuff like that, right? And how many tasks belong to a list and other stuff like that. So data modeling is another topic on its own, and everyone is going to have to learn that, right? But just know, whenever you're building an actual software, you're going to do data modeling, right? Like the same way we did, if you remember in the sales, if everyone here did the Salesforce admin, there's a section like the telecommunication. Hi, can you please mute? Okay. Yeah, so the telecommunications project, right? There's a section, or in fact, in any software, you always have to do data modeling, right? So data modeling is you defining what fields and relationships you're going to need for your software, right? I can remember, I think we created bill, bill item, and some other stuff, right? So this is the case. If you're creating a to-do app, you have to create tasks, lists, and other stuffs that you're going to need for your app, right? So the view will define what to-dos and lists looks like, right? The colors, yeah, visually, right? You can have a large font or certain color. So all those have to do with the view. And we're going to have to do all those in the view folder, right? Because so how all this stuff works is you kind of separate all your codes in folders so you can actually see how they work, right? So finally, the controller could define how a user adds a tag, right? How a user adds a tags. So a controller is like an action part of the whole system, right? So we have your create tags, delete tags, or marks another task as complete, right? All those actions will be defined in the controller. So again, the communication, view shows all the tags, the to-dos and stuff like that. If the user wants to take any action on a task, sends a request to the controller. Let's say I want to update my to-do for tomorrow, right? The controller has to go to the database or the model to get that record, right? Gets it, manipulates it, persists it to the database, then updates the view. So I won't want to go like much. So I just want everyone to understand this little concept first, right? User view, like a model view controller, right? Controller, it's like an engine box where you create functions, or this where you're going to write all the syntax we'll be learning, right? The if else, condition loops, object, you're going to manipulate objects here. You're going to kind of fetch, get content from external resource, right? We're going to get into all that, right? But just know, you access a web app, or when you send the request, it goes through a route. The controller handles the request, either gets data if it needs to manipulate data, or if it doesn't need to manipulate data, it just renders a view for you. If it needs to manipulate data, it gets to the model, manipulates the data, and updates the view. Okay, so I'm just going to take a pause now and see if anyone has any question before we jump into practicals, right? Because we're going to kind of have to work on an example, and I want everyone to, I don't know if we'll have the time for everyone to share their screen, right? But I want everyone to kind of build a basic Express server, and we're going to get into how all that is done. So if you have any questions about the theory aspect of this, you can just raise up your hands and let's take your questions. Okay, hi. Hello, Lucina. Good evening. Lucina, can you hear me? Can someone confirm they can hear me? Is it just me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes,
We can.
Okay, great.
I can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, listener. If you're trying to speak, we can't hear you. I can't hear you, rather. Okay, let me just drop in the chat. Okay, so since let me see, everyone kind of understands the concept, right? So I'm just going to try to move to the next section, right? So again, so I just had this short snippet, right, to help remember how it works, right? Model is the data part. Model saves data, manipulates data. View is the user interface part, and controller is the request response handler part, okay? So if I go to the next section, okay, servers. Yeah, so before I jump into my code editor, right, because I am going to have to use some of this, I want to just explain the terms. I already did this on Saturday before I jump into my code editor, right? So when I wanted to start a HTML, right? If you can remember, we talked about some tools and what we use for the front end, right? So now we're in the back end, we're going to talk about some tools we're going to use, right? So you need to understand what we call server, because I'm going to be saying a whole lot of things, right? So start your server, stop your server. We're going to host this on the server. This is my server is not running, or some of you might have questions, my server, right? So I'm just going to try to explain what server is going to mean in our context, right? So the word server can mean a whole lot of things in computing, right? There are tens of different meanings you can use servers to mean in computing, right? But we're going to focus on web servers specifically. So whenever we say servers in our context, we're trying to illustrate a web server because we are reading web apps and website, right? So a web server is a process running on a computer, right? So let me just, I wanted to bold this word. I can't bold it here. A web server is a process running on a computer that listens for incoming requests for information over the internet and sends back response, right? So what I want you to kind of take note of is process running, because servers never go down, right? So if I come, for example, I'm going to explain, this is my Node server. I'm sure everyone has Node installed. If I start this server now, right? So if I do npm start, I'm going to get into what npm is soon. If I start this server now, this stuff just started a server in my computer on, I think, port 3000 or stuff. It's on, like it doesn't get shut down, right, until I shut it down. So this can be open. So ideally, practically, what you should know is for every resource you are able to access on the internet. So for you to access google.com, salesforce.com, there's a computer that never sleeps or that never stops running, right? So if you see maybe any of our websites is down or anything happen, maybe you can't access a site on the internet, it means the process is no longer running or the server is no longer running, right? So I want you to just take note of this word, right? A web server is a process running on a computer that listens for incoming requests. So it listens for incoming requests for information over the internet and sends back response, right? So an easy way to understand what web servers are is a computer or a server running. It listens for incoming requests and sends out a response, right? So for example, if I click on JSConst, it sends a request to wherever their server is and returns a response and display the page, right? We're going to see it in our code. So each time a user navigates to a website on their browser, the browser makes a request to the web server of that website, right? Every website has at least one web server. So let me just use this as an example. I'm going to use a tool that is accessible to us developers, right? Some of you might know how this works, but let me just use this to just explain something, right? So I'm going to go to network. So I said developer tools is your friend, right? It's what you kind of use to kind of debug website, right? So when you get to learn to use it, you're going to see all the possibilities, right? So I've been clicking on links, right? JavaScript, LEDs, const, stuff like that. Let me clear this stuff again. Yeah. So I just want to illustrate something, right? We're not looking into this today. So if I click on CSS, the page has loaded, right? But can you see how many requests is sent out to the server that is holding this, right? So this is just a tool to show your outgoing requests on each website, right? It's on the developer. So I just wanted to show you that whenever you click a link, whenever you take an action, a request is sent to a server. So these are the responses coming back. If I click on this, I'm going to see the preview, the response, the payload, right? I'm going to see the URL it sent it to, but this is not what we want to do today. But what I want to show you is that this website is hosted on the server, and for every link you click, it sends a request to the server. We're going to see how this all works when we start playing around with our own servers, right? So I'm just going to close this so I'll not make anything confusing, okay? So each time a user navigates to a website, whenever I go to w3schools.com, salesforce.com, I make a request to a server. The browser makes a request to the web server of that website. Every website has at least one web server, right? So we can't have our own web server. So a large company like Salesforce has thousands of computers located around the world listening for requests, right? But my point is, I'm going to show us how to create a simple web server from our computer. But the difference is that when you create a server on your computer now, it's only going to be accessed by you via what we call localhost, right? So it's going to be only accessed by you, but much later, I think we're going to see how we can make whatever we build accessible to the whole, let me not say the whole world, to the internet, right? So servers are where your codes, like where you save your codes on a computer, but they are computers that runs on a process that never stops, right? And it listens for requests. If you can see my console now, it's listening for a request. It listens for a request and sends out a response, okay? And when we get into more practicals, this will make sense for those that don't understand it, right? So the specific format for a request, I don't go into this now. We talked about it during HTML. So the way this front end communicates with the back end and gets response is via what we call the HTTP protocol, right? I won't go into that now, but I'm very sure we'll have to explain it much later, right? So the format for sending requests, right? So everything has a format on the internet, right? So there's an image format, there's an MP3 format. So the format for sending requests across the internet is what we call HTTP format, right? So in a nutshell, a server is a computer that listens for incoming requests and sends response, right? And one characteristic of a server, it's always running. Whenever a server goes down, or this W3 school, whenever their server is faulty or it just goes down, you won't be able to access this website, right? So I'm going to give an example with this. Let's say this is let me change this while we keep on working, right? Let me say this is my dummy. Let me say this is Black Force website. Welcome to Black Force website. So I'm just going to use an example. Okay, and I say this, I'm just going to restart my server. If I go back, you're going to see welcome to Black Force website, right? So let's see people access this website. If my server goes down, or maybe there's a bad code that shuts my server down, and when it tries to visit my website, it's going to go off, right? So one thing you should know, a server has to be up 24 hours. Okay, so in general terms, when you hear the word, when we go for we use server, we mean wherever our code is hosted, right? So wherever your code is hosted and the engine is running, waiting for requests and sends out responses, that's your server, right? Okay, so I'm just going to go into other stuff. before I jump into my code editor, right? So Node.js, I think we tried to help everyone install Node.js from last week. I'm going to ask if everyone has Node.js installed. So because I want, as I'm typing, as we're doing, other persons are following along, right? So Node.js, we're just going to talk about different tools we can use to kind of work with servers, right? So I think for front end, where we had less tools to install, we just wrote HTML directly. I think the only tool or framework we installed was Bootstrap when we were doing Bootstrap, right? So with front end, a little bit easier, but with back end, you have to kind of install some environment and install some frameworks for you to be able to get your server running, right? So writing the software, writing the code that runs your server is a little bit complex. So most times you need frameworks to kind of just help you fasten the whole process, okay? Yeah, so I'm going to start with Node.js, right? So I've been asking everyone to install Node.js. So what is Node.js? Node.js is a development platform, right? Or a runtime environment for executing JavaScript code on the server. So just it's as easy as this, right? I can easily run JavaScript here because the browser has a JavaScript engine, right? I'm sure everyone knows how to do this. I can easily come here and run let's my name equals Sammy, right? This is going to work. Yeah, if I do my name, it's going to output Sammy. I can maybe in a front-end application or a static website application, I can write JavaScript, load it from the browser, and it's going to read it, right? So if you remember with our introduction to programming, I told you all programming languages has maybe runtime environments or engines running them, right? So the reason this browser could understand this JavaScript is because it has JavaScript, a JavaScript engine installed in it, right? So now we are going to servers and we want to use JavaScript to be able to use the same JavaScript we know to write and configure servers, right? So there are different server-side languages. You can use Python, C#, .NET, Java, but we want to use we want to be able to use JavaScript to write server-side codes, right? So what you need to install is Node.js. Okay, Node.js is just like a container. If you look at the terms I use, it's a runtime environment for JavaScript, right? It does nothing but just helps you write JavaScript on the server. If I go to my code editor, right, I have Node installed. If I call the Node prompts the same way I have on my browser and just click on Node, I can do the same thing here on my computer, right? I can do let my name equals Sammy. And if I call my name variable is going to output Sammy. Okay, so in simple terms, Node.js is a runtime environment, or is a platform that just helps you write JavaScript. If I uninstall my Node.js now and I try this, my computer is going to throw an error because it doesn't understand your JavaScript language. Okay, so Node.js, it's a runtime environment that helps us run JavaScript code. Then npm, we're going to be using npm. So I kind of wrote it down here to kind of explain it, right? So Node Package Manager. Node npm comes with Node.js, right? If I just do this, exit. So if I just do npm version, right? npm comes installed. So anyone that, as long as you've installed Node, you have npm installed. So npm, it's another one of the tools that's going to be helping us bootstrap or kind of make our life easier, right? So npm is Node Package Manager. There's a principle in software development, right? Called dry. It means do not repeat yourself, right? Do not repeat yourself. I think because I'm typing in a JavaScript file. Let me see. I do not repeat yourself, okay? So what this means, right, is whatever has been done, try to avoid not to do it again, right? We're going to see that with using modules and stuff like that. So npm, it's just a package manager where you can get so many amazing tools that different developers have already created and you don't need to create them again, okay? So for example, in our previous app, we had one, or let's say I wanted to maybe my function to calculate function sum, num1, num2. I just return num1. This was a little calculator we built back then, right? I think it was last week. So imagine I have maybe a very important function or application I created. So ours is just 3 lines of code. Imagine it's 100 lines of code and it's a really, really cool solution. I can, if I want, share this with any developer, any Node.js or JavaScript developer around the world by just hosting it on the Node package manager repository, right? So just see NPM like a very, very big space or big bucket. You can host stuff and get already built solutions, right? So if I go to npm, let me just, I've forgotten, npmjs.org. Let me not try to get the site, right? Let me just do npm. Yeah, I got it, npmjs.com, right? So it's like a library. It's like a library. Let me see if I can find a sum or a calculator. Yeah, so it's like a library. We're going to see how it's used. It's like a library, a giant library of useful functions, right? The reason why I'm explaining it is because we're going to use it a whole lot to download stuff and maybe kind of play around with stuff, right? So what you should just know is NPM, it's like a tool that helps you download already written codes by other people you can use in your software, and NPM gives you some commands you can use to bootstrap your code, right? Okay, then Express, right? Let me just go through this. Express is a backend web application framework for Node.js. As simple as Bootstrap is for CSS, Express is for Node.js, right? So if I go to front-end CSS, right? Bootstrap. We all know what Bootstrap is. Bootstrap is just like the name says, it's a bootstrap for CSS, right? It's CSS package. You just need to call classes, right? So Express is Node.js package. You just need to call the functions, okay? So I think I've spent too much time explaining a whole lot. So I'm just going to jump into my code editor. We're going to do some of these things. I'm going to come back to this file to explain. Then if you have any questions, you can just raise your hands and I'm going to see your hands, okay? But before I do that, let me just see. I think I saw someone, Otman wanted to ask. Otman, you can go ahead.
Yeah, Sammy, hi. My question is, how can I confirm if I have a Node.js on my system? Because you sound like you had a class over the weekend. You know, I wasn't in attendance, and I'm not sure if I have a Node.js on my system.
Are you on Windows?
No, I'm on Mac.
Okay, so just open up a terminal and do node --. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yeah, let me see if I can zoom this. Can you guys see my screen well? So just open up a terminal, right? It mustn't be VS Code terminal. Open up your ZS, your bash terminal, and type in node space -- then version, like this. So everyone that wants to confirm, you can do this on Windows or Mac to confirm if you have Node installed.
It says version 16.42 or 1.4.2.
You have Node installed.
How about the npm or what do you call it?
Yeah, you can check the same way, npm space -- version.
npm. It says bash npm command not found.
npm?
Yes.
Like this?
Yes. Or npm, oh sorry, npm version. Okay, 8.5.0.
Yeah, okay, you have Node and npm installed, so you're okay.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess every other person on this call has Node installed, right?
And sorry, my last question, is this a repetition of what you guys had over the weekend?
Exactly. Nothing new.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to just come here.
Sorry,
okay.
Sorry, Sammy. I'm unable to get anything when I do the node -- version.
Windows.
Yes, please. And I've checked, it's installed on my system.
Are you using CMD or Bash?
Sorry?
Are you using your Windows CMD or Git Bash?
Git bash.
No output.
No output. No output.
Try opening up your VS Code. Open up your VS Code terminal.
Okay. Yeah, VS Code terminal. That's where I'm doing it from.
Like you type in node, just type in node and hit enter. I'm telling you what happens. If it throws an error, then you don't have node installed.
Okay, welcome to Node.js. Okay.
Yeah, you have node installed.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So I wanted to, okay, Dara.
Hi, Sammy. When I click on Node, it throws up an error. How do I install it?
You don't have node installed?
No.
Are you on Windows?
Yeah.
Okay, so just go to nodejs.org. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
And just download LTS. Just click on just click on this. It's going to download an installer for you. Just run the installer and just click on yes, 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 or true, and just install it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to jump into my editor, right? So I'm going to switch between my editor and my content, right? To practicalize some stuff. So I'm going to go back and see. Okay. Yeah, so MVC, right? So we talked about MVC, right? So we want to build a little, I won't even call it software, little web app based on what we've talked about, right? So what I have here, right, was auto-generated for me. I'm going to kind of give everyone the tool. So we're always going to have the same setup, right? It was auto-generated. I could create this from scratch, but most times, since we are kind of doing maybe an MVC design pattern, there are tools that just helps you generate all the basic folders and setup you need, right? Like I said, you don't have to be writing all this stuff yourself, right? So this is like a server file, right? So this is what starts the server, keeps it running, and just expects requests on different routes, right? So most times I can do this from scratch, right? For me now, I can write all this from scratch and it's going to work. But most times you don't want to keep on doing the same thing over and over again, right? So there are tools that just help the same way we have for a HTML file, right? If you remember, if I create a HTML file here, index.html, and just do HTML like this, and it generates this stuff for me, right? So this is what we have here. They are all called tooling, like tooling tools, right? So they just help you generate boilerplates. Imagine I have 10 applications to build, and I know my setup here is always going to be the same. It's going to be tiring to keep on writing this and writing it and writing it, right? So there are tools that will just help you generate all this stuff, generate all these folders for you, because this is the framework we are going to use, okay? So one of those tools, or the tool I use, is called Express Generator. And yeah, Express is just a tool to create a skeleton MVC project, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and explain how all these folders relate and what they do. Let me delete this so we don't confuse ourselves. Here's my delete. I can't delete from here. Okay, so I generated, I'm going to show you how to do that, but I'm just going to try to explain the server file and how it works, the server MVC folders, sorry, MVC project and how they work, right? So I used what we call Express Generator to generate these whole folders and files, right? So I'm just going to do it again so you guys can just see, right? So I'm going to step out of my folder. I'm just going to do Express. I'm going to call it tests folder, and view equals EGS. If I hit enter, can you see it's going to help me auto-generate all the same stuff I have here, but it's in another project. I'm not going to open it. I just want to show you guys how I did this, right? So again, this is kind of a Node.js project folder structure. I can do this by hand, but it's not effective to always do it by hand. That's why we have tools that auto generate them for us, right? I'm going to show you how to install this and be able to use it to create your project folders towards the end of this class, because everyone is going to have to just generate a little Express app and output something on the web page. Okay, so I'm going to start from the app, right? So if I click on app, this is the server file. Okay, there's no one straight way to configure this, but for our case, since we are not mainly, we just have 2 weeks here, we are not focusing on JavaScript. We won't touch maybe different types of setup, right? So this is your server file. This is like the entry file of your application. Okay, so whenever the server starts, this is the file it comes to, and there are so many configurations on this file. I'm going to go through the ones we need to know now, so we could understand how MVC works and how you can get outputs on the web page, like I have here. Okay, I've shut down my server. Okay, so this is the server file. These are all configurations that you mostly don't need to fully know what they mean, right? So I don't know if we talked about modules in JavaScript. It's like I said I was going to talk about it today. Let me just go to JavaScript. There's a section with modules, right? JavaScript modules. I'm sure it's here. So JavaScript modules, right? So JavaScript modules allow you to break up your code into separate files. I don't think we talked about this. So this makes it easier to maintain your code. So with import, export. So basically what this means is you can require, like maybe if you have a script.js and you have a script2.js, I can get this function or all the variables in this file to the script2.js file by exporting it and importing it in the other file. Okay, so what all these declarations are just doing, they are just requiring functions and maybe objects from different places, right? So we are requiring Express. I told you Express helps us create a server. We are requiring paths, cookie parser. We don't need to know what all this does for now. So these are just like setup configurations that makes the server work. Okay, so what I want us to focus on are the routes. I opened up an image on Saturday, so I'm just going to open it up again and explain something with it. Okay, so what I want us to focus on are the routes, and yeah, so the only thing I want us to focus on in this file is the route before we go forward, right? So this, in a nutshell, again, this is your entry file in your server, right? Let me not get anyone confused. This is the entry file in your server. When your server starts, or when you start your server, this file gets run and it picks up all these route file and listens for requests. Okay, so I'm just going to go over here and just try to explain something before I start my server. So this is, I used this image last week, right? So let's say this is front end, back end, right? The thing that connects the front end and the back end is what we call a router. So the routing system connects the front end and the back end. So this is a little bit more different than static sites. Okay, so for you to build a dynamic application, you need routes. You need a router to connect the front end and the back end, right? So if I click on a link here, if you can see, the URL changes, right? It changes from, okay, we are on JS loop while. If I click on array sorts, the URL changes to JS array sorts. Okay, so these are different routes. Here's my file. These are different routes on the back end. Okay, so if I go to my backend server, you can see that we are expecting different endpoints. Okay, so let me just start my server so you can do some practical stuff, right? I'm going to just start my server with npm start. Is a little command. Okay, see the MVC tutorial npm start. Okay, so if you look at our own server now, right, we are listening for, let me see, we are listening for users. We are listening for users, right? So if I go to my server, start my server, and go to, okay, this is, I don't have like a nice user interface with the navigations, right? So I'm sure everyone did HTML. So if I click on user, if I navigate to users, right? So it's, let me just change this to, this is a user route handler. Okay. I'm going to have to restart my server because I made a change. And if I go back and refresh this, you see this is a user route handler. So the point I'm trying to make, right? For every endpoint, we call this endpoints, right? For every route you meet, you kind of click. For every link you click on a web page, links translates to routes. So if I click, if you can just look at the URL bar. So now we're at JS array sorts. If I click on JS objects, I'm trying to access a different route on the server. So so long you're clicking links, you're accessing different routes. So if I go back to this image, you're going to see the way we communicate with the backend or the application is via what we call router. So whenever I click on a link, it goes to a different route. If you come to our server, you're going to see that we are listening for different routes. So here we are listening for /. So this is index, right? So like we're going to see the use of what I said when we're doing HTML. So you always have to have an index.html. So the server reads the roots of your website or your application as the index, right? So this is for index, this is for users. I can create more, right? So for example, W3 School should have thousands of routes, right? Because there are hundreds and hundreds of, tens of thousands of URLs here. So they are going to have a very, very large route file. So if I add another line and make this, I can call it developers, right? So it's a developer's route. I'm just trying to explain to you how communication with the backend works, right? So if I add another route, call it developers, and let it go to user router for now. Okay, now I'm going to just create a new file for it so we don't have conflicts. I think I did this on this Saturday. Developers routes. Okay. Then I'm going to put this developers route. I'll go to the route file. And copy all this. So if I come here, I'm just going to say this is a developer route handler, right? If I save this, go to my browser, type in my URL or my URL / developers, right? And hit enter. Okay, I have to restart my server, sorry.
Sorry, do you have to restart your server every time you make a change?
Yeah, but I'm going to show you how not to do that. So we are still starting. I don't want to overcomplicate things. You have to, when you make a change, your server is already running with the previous instance of your code. So when you make a change, you have to restart the server. But there are packages you can use, or there are npm modules you can use to stop that. I'm already facing some issues. Okay, so yeah, I think I've solved that now. So if I go and refresh,
how are you able to resolve that? Because I'm having the same issue.
I'm able to resolve what?
Yeah, your server just now. Like it gave you error, mode not found.
Yeah, because I was trying to reference a file that did not exist. Okay, I was trying to reference developers, right? Developer.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the name of my file was developers routes. So it was throwing an error that it does not exist.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go over this again. I've restarted my server. If I check now, this is our homepage, right? I'm going to this is just like a basic stuff, right? If I go to developers, right? Developers, we're going to see that our server or our little application has a route handler for developers. So right now, maybe we can put a very beautiful website here. We're going to get into that. What I want you to understand, the way like a full-fledged software works, right? The way it handles all your requests. For example, now I've been using this as an example. Let me continue this as an example. For every link you click, right? The server somewhere has a route handler. So this can get really long. This can get really long because you have to address so many routes. So my point is, the way the front end and back end communicate is via what we call a routing system. And for every link or navigation you click, there's a request handler on your server waiting to receive that. So for example, let's just go into our model view controller, right? This is the route handler, which is part of the controller section of our MVC, right? If I go into my route folder and go into my developer route, this is my controller, right? I can create this as a different folder in the controller, but for now, let's not make stuff more complicated, right? Because the normal way to do this is I'll have a controllers folder. But okay, let me bring this out of the move. I'll have a controllers folder, but I don't want to do that now. So this is my route, this is my controller, and I can do whatever I want to do here. I can get data from database. If you can, as you can see, right, this is a function. I don't know if you can see this. I explained this on Saturday. This is a function. I can do whatever I want to do here. I can get data from my Salesforce org if, or maybe from another resource, right? Salesforce org or somewhere else. I can manipulate the data here, manipulate data and send response, right? So before I go into controller manipulation and all, let me just go over route handling again, okay? So like I said, for whatever link you click on the front end, right? So this little, this stuff says the router connects front and back end. So for whatever link you click on the front end, there's a route handler at the back end waiting for it. If I create a new one and name it maybe cohort 3 or Black Force or JavaScript, you're going to see, so long I keep on adding routes, it keeps on handling it for me. And whenever I put in a route, so for example, let me come and put in a route here that I'm very sure they don't have. Let me say Sammy. They can't have Sammy, right? They're going to handle it and tell you, we can't handle your request, or we can't seem to find a resource you're looking for. Okay, so what you should know is for every link you have on any web page or every URL, there's a routing system that listens to it and handles it. Okay, so basically now what I've just done is I've created a new route called developers route. I've created a file for it in the route folder and just sent in a direct response to the web page, right? So I'm just going to show the communication between the model, sorry, not model. I'm trying to avoid model for now because it's going to need me to install the database, between the view, routes, and the controller, okay? So looking at this diagram again, front end, routes, back end, gets to controller, and model, then updates view, right? So let's say, I've not played around with my view, so I'm just going to go to view and create a new file called, let's say developers.ejes, okay? I'm going to copy a template from the index. So this is plain HTML, right? But the good thing is we can write variables directly into this, but I don't want to go into that. Let me just kind of make my point first. So this is welcome to the developers page. Okay, so I've created a view page for developers, right? If I go back, let me just clear all this stuff again and open up the app. So again, if I start my server, whenever I start my server, this file runs and it reads all these routes in memory and starts listening for a request. I don't want to go into that, right? But if I show you this now, you're going to see that in our configuration file, there's a place where it says where our app starts, and it starts listening for, where is it? And it starts listening for yeah, so this is where the whole magic happens, right? Server.listen port, it never shuts down, but we're not going to go into that for now. So when this file is loaded, it reads all these routes into memory and starts expecting requests to these routes. It doesn't sleep, okay? So whenever a request comes, for example, to developers, I'm saying here, so this is a function, right? App, like our app, right? App.use. Whenever you see this route, send the person to this file. This is a file. If I go up here, you see I'm requiring the file. you're going to need to get familiar with this word require, right? Require just means I'm calling a file and saving the file into a variable, okay? So whenever a request comes to this route, send the person to this file. So this is a route handler, okay? So if I go to the file, route, developer route, I can list out other route handlers here, but let's just go with the basic stuff, right? So whenever the person comes to the base endpoint of routes, of what is it called, of developers, use this function to handle the request. This is our controller for now until we understand the basics enough to abstract our controller to its own folder. This is our controller for now. So here's where I can do stuff here. But first of all, let me send this guy to our developer view page, okay? Right now, I'm just directly sending a response. So if I do, let me see syntax. If I do res.render, rather than res.send, so these are commands like we learned in HTML, we're going to just learn, right? Res.render developers, okay? So before I save this and restart my server, I'm going to go over it again from app.js. Our server runs. Again, like I said, you don't need to bother yourself with everything on this file. Just know that we have to listen on every endpoint or route we want to serve or handle. So we have a rule, app.use. Our app should use this function, right? Whenever it sees developers, it should go to this file. So this is a variable. And if you go up here, it's a variable that saves a whole file in it, right? So we are requiring the file and saving it in a variable. If I go to the folder route and click on the file, we have the controller for that handler. And what I'm doing now is as basic as telling the guy or telling my application to render my developer. So if you can see, if you notice, I did not do, maybe you're expecting views developers. It already knows that the views handle, like the view handles the front end, right? So if I just do res.render developers and restart my server, okay, if I go to my little application, go back to my home page, it works. Then I try to access developers now. Okay, I'm trying to use something that does not exist. Just give me a minute. Yes, let me just take this off. Take this off. So something very basic, right? If I refresh this again, we're going to see I'm handling the response with a page in my views folder, right? So it's going to might be too much if you've not done this before, if you don't understand Express, but just know, I just explained how routes or how the router kind of connects the front end and the back end, right? So we're going to do more. It's going to like kind of get more fun, but let me just see, take questions from people. Okay, Dara. Hello, Dara, your hands are up. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so, okay, Dara is not speaking. Omo.
All right, hi Sam. So I wanted to know, I know the computer also speaks back to us, like when you're trying to achieve something and you can't, like the way you knew what you were doing was wrong. So what are the tips you think we should, when you're encountering an error, what are tips you can throw for us to look out on and be able to, you know, point out to know that, okay, this is where the issue is, this is where I'm encountering problems, right? Number one. And then number two, do you have a resource that one could read more on this if we want to? Because I can see it's your notes that you have, right? So those are.
I have a reference section. I'm going to add more links and share it.
Thank you. So those are the two things I wanted to ask.
Yeah. So first of all, errors, right? So there's a whole topic on error handling, but just know, no matter what, it's either the application you are using or the framework you're using outputs it on the web page for you to see, or you see it on your browser console. So let me just replicate the last error I had. And most times they are descriptive, okay? So the error I had here was I was trying to use a variable that wasn't declared. So if I save this and restart my server, and I try to access this page again, you're going to see reference. It's just that I didn't read it because I automatically knew it was wrong. Reference error, right? I'm trying to reference C. Title is not defined. Okay, so most times it's even here in bold, title is not defined. Most times it's going to output the error on the page, or if you're working with JavaScript directly, it's going to output it on your console. But for Express now, Express just outputs it on the page for us here. So you're going to either see it on your console or on the page, and it's going to be very descriptive.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, B's hand is down. Debo.
Okay, good evening, Simon.
Hi.
Okay, the issue I'm having is the Express generator.
Yeah.
Mine is not displaying like yours, because I think I installed it on Friday during the 5-day tutorials.
Huh?
So, but when you now installed yours, the way mine is looking is totally different from yours.
By looking, what do you mean? Folder structure?
Yes.
What folders do you have?
I have package/lock.json.
I have it here also.
Yes, I have the second one.
Yeah.
But all the controller, the nodes, the routes,
They didn't come along.
Yes, none of them came along.
You're sure you generated a folder? You did Express generate?
On Friday when it was telling us how to do it, I was just following. So that day, I think it told us to do npm install Express generator. So
okay,
that's what I did that day.
I'm going to take I think maybe I'm going to do it next, because I want everyone to practicalize this before I send out material, because I don't expect everyone to just learn it now. So I want everyone to just run a basic Express server. So I'm going to take everyone via installing it, generating a project folder, then adding a route and testing the route. Okay.
Okay. That's good. Thank you.
Ola Daniel.
Yeah, just answer the question that was raising concerns with me, because the Express generator, I didn't have any idea of how it was installed or not.
Okay.
So
we're going to go over that.
Yeah, so I was wondering where it's coming from. That's why I wanted to ask you if there's any outline you have for us to do it, or do you have to take us through it so that we can have it on our systems?
Yeah, I can easily send the link or ask it, but I can say 50, 60 or 7% of the class.
I was thinking the project milestone.
Okay, so I thought so we're going to go over installing it and using it in the class here. So that I'll help solve any issue for anyone having installation issues.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Dara's hand is still up. Dara, are you there? Okay, great. So we can do so many cool stuff. We can do so many cool stuff with this, right? But I would just want to take it one step at a time. Okay, so I've kind of showed you how Node.js works, how Express generates a predefined folders. Again, all this stuff, it's not magic, right? It's just a tool that I can by hand create. These are just folders. If you did our HTML project, you already created a project folder, right? So these are just folders with default configuration. But the thing is, you won't want to be carrying all this stuff in your head up, right? From now, I can do it myself, but if you're just starting this and you're not going to dwell as a JavaScript developer, right? So you just need to use the tool to auto-generate it, right? So we use Express Generator to generate this stuff. Then the basic thing I want us to understand and I want everyone to do is routing system, okay? So again, the router connects the front end and the back end. So I think there's a little explanation. So I'm also going to share this. Yeah, so the router is used to direct the user to the controller or out of the controller, right? So when a user visits a link, the router checks if there is a resource for that link in the controller. Okay, so this is where all our routes are declared. Again, we can do this in a different way, but I won't even try to edit any of the structure here. So everyone can generate express and have it the same way, right? So I've explained how routing works, right? So if I try now, let me undo what I did and repair my developer file. So I didn't pass, I don't have a variable now. So I'm going to take this off, save. Restart my stop and start server and make sure my web app works correctly. Welcome to developers page. If I try to access a route that my application doesn't recognize and I hit enter, we're going to see 404 not found. But the difference with what these guys did was they already designed a page for it, right? So they already designed a page and this is looking sweet. So, but for us, our Express is helping us handle it, 404 not found. We're going to see how we can, okay, let me see. We're going to see how we can make all this stuff look beautiful, right? So these are just basic HTML stuff. You can see our HTML is messy, right? There's nothing. If we had the full-fledged HTML with CSS and all like we did previously, it's going to display very well. I can even show an example. Let me see whose GitHub can I go to? Can someone give me their GitHub URL for project one? I'm going to use the person's project one or their index file as our home page. So you can see this is just HTML, pure HTML and CSS. If we put a HTML file that has styling, it's going to display beautifully, okay? So I was just trying to explain, if you put in an endpoint that you don't have in your server, it's going to throw a 404 error. So again, this is the server. When the server starts, it reads this file, then it reads all your routes in memory and listens for requests. So if it comes to your users, your user router handles
Just send to my URL.
Okay, if it comes to your developers, your developers controller handles it. Okay, so I won't want to go much further. I want everyone to verticalize this, right? So I'm just going to show what I wanted to show, so we can. I'll just go show everyone how to install. What's it called? How to install Express generator, right? So let me make our homepage look more appealing. So you see that this view folder is everything about the front end, right? So if I put my front end codes here, you're going to see how it's going to look. What's wrong? Page not found. Okay. Wait, she shared me the link to your settings. Okay, let me just copy this and put as our HTML, right? I'll go to my index file in my view folder and replace everything. Okay. So else assignment 2.css is the name of your CSS file. Style sheets assignment 2.css. Okay, I'm going to comment this out. I saved this already. First of all, I think our index should change, right? But let me add his CSS file. Let's see. So let me look for the CSS. I'm just trying to show you that the view folder and everything in view is just what we've learned, right? Our whole front end, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So assignment 2.css is here. I'm just going to copy it and create the file, style sheets. find .css and paste the style. Okay. Why do I have this symbol here? So maybe it's from his code. Yeah, that's not from me. Okay, so basically, right? So this is just what I was just trying to show you, right? So we can put a full-fledged, we're just using text to display. So if you can see, this is like model view controller in practice, right? So the view folder has all our front-end code, right? So in this, previously, our whole project was just about index file and CSS, but right now, if you can see, our view controls whatever the browser says, and our app.js or our app.js helps us send requests to a route file. A route handle the request via a controller, renders a view. Our app goes to the view folder and picks up the name of the file, the view file, and renders it. Okay, I put everything on index. So I was just trying to show you that you can put the same way you had your whole very nice portfolio or index or front-end app, you can put it in views, and just the main reason behind the whole server controller is for you to listen for requests. You have a controller to manipulate the request. Okay, let me say const developers. I'm trying to simulate a database now. We don't have database across. Let me just, Enobong suggested we use its name as examples. And right? I can send this as a variable to the front end developers. Then if I go to the developers file, I can just output this, right? These are our developers. It's not going to look nice again, but you get the gist, right? How do I output variables here? Developers. So join. We're going to talk about the syntax, but let me just see if it works, because I just put it off the top of my head. So if I go to developers now, I should see my variable. I'm just trying to, yeah. So these are our developers, Enobong Nadine, right? So I was just trying to simulate how we can play with data. Okay, where is it? Yeah, so for example, we could have called the database or called an API here. So this is just, it just gives you power to do some stuff before you render a page. Previously, if I go to this Ottman's portfolio, previously in our HTML, if you click on feedback, it just kind of goes to this feedback index in maybe feedback.html, support.html and stuff like that. But the advantage of having it as a software, as an application, is you can control what happens, right? Because it goes through your app.js, goes through the routes, it comes to the controller. Here you have access to play around with whatever I want to play around before you send the front end. Okay, so I don't want to complicate issues. I just wanted to show you how routing works, and we've created routes. I added a new route and displayed it on the front end. And I also changed how our homepage looked by just putting HTML and CSS that we've all been working with, okay? So it will be easier if you understand that the whole HTML and CSS we've done last month, you can have it in this view. This is just a folder. I can have 10 files here. I can have contacts.ejs and all, and it's going to look beautifully, right? But I can control stuff from my controller before I render the views. So this is just the concept of and we've not touched on models, right? So there's supposed to be a folder here called models, but we've not touched on it. Why is it creating it in the root folder? Yeah, so there's supposed to be a folder called models, but we've not touched on it. But just basically, we've seen how routes, the controller and routes handler handles each request to the server and sends it to views. So the next section I want to go to right now, before maybe our time runs out, is to just show you how to install Express Generator and do this stuff yourself, so you can play around with maybe creating routes, playing with routes, and outputting different content on the web page. Let me just see if we have. Okay, so Olakunle.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam. That piece you read from, where you read about the when you're inputting from the view it sends to the router, that piece you read from before, there was something that caught my attention, that it said something about the view sent, to the router. No, not this one. The little one that you said you were gonna. The router is used to direct the user to the controller or out of the controller.
Yeah.
What exactly does this mean? Or
Okay.
out of the controller?
If I go back to my code now, right? So if I go back to, let me just clear this whole stuff and go back to app.js, right? So this is, let me read it. The router is used to direct the user to the controller. So when a request comes to our application, this routing system directs the user to this controller. Okay, let me not do that. So this is the route it's expecting. This is the file. It's saved in a variable and it's coming from a routes folder, then developers routes. So if I go to routes, go to developers routes, this is the controller. Okay, the controller is just a function. So the statement says the router is used to direct the user to the controller or out of the controller. It's even supposed to be and out of the controller. I can as well change this, right? So and out of the controller, because when I finish manipulating data, I send this is the controller. I send the user out to the view. Can you see? So if I open up one of my images again, you're going to see.
Yes, the image is not this one. The other one, the last one. No. The one that shows the router in the middle from between the end and the.
Yeah, so if I go back to my image,
this one.
It gets to the router, gets to the controller, and it always takes a response back to the user or back to the view. So it brings the user into the controller and out of the controller because it has to send the response to update the view. Okay.
Is there a possibility from this diagram?
Yeah.
From that same diagram that shows from the back end to the router and straight to the front end, can it go that way? Or okay, it has to find something actually. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, the router has to direct from the front end.
You always have to
the
communicate via the router. You can't jump to the back end because you have to tell you where you're going to at the back end.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just spoke with Olakunle, right? Yeah, yes, Amos. Yeah, thanks for that. Amos.
Yeah, Sally, good evening. I want to ask the request, response, and next, do you have any material, and the render, do you have any material that explains their function? Or we could just
I'm going to share a file. I'm going to share multiple resources in the group after this class.
Okay, so I'll just go through to have more insight on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so let's just do this, right? I generated, let me see. So I generated this whole stuff with a package called Express Generator I installed on my computer, right? The same way I installed Node was the same way I installed Express Generator. So if I just go to MDN Express Generator, right? So I want everyone to run this command so we could have, let me change this to light. Yeah, so I want everyone to run this command so we could have the same folder structure working. So if you have Node.js installed, right, I'm just going to open up my code editor and open up my terminal. So long you have Node.js installed, you have what we call npm, which is a Node package manager, right? So if I do npm version, okay, no, not that type of version, npm -that version, you're going to see I have a version. Yours might be more recent because I don't like using updated packages like that. So you're going to have a version of npm. So for you to have Express, the package we want, like I said, no, npm it's used to install already built packages that other people have created and kept maybe online for us to use. So for you to have this locally on computer, you have to run this command, right? So whenever I want to install a package, right, npm install well, sorry, whenever you want to get a package someone already built from npm, this is the command you run. So npm install the name of the package, right? So this G just means install it globally. So you just don't, let me not stress on this, but the command is npm install express generator. So let me just show you an example of this. Let me see if I can look for a very easy package.
We type that in our terminal, you paste it.
I'll paste it. Okay, let me just.
And also, you said something about creating a folder first before.
No, you don't. It will create a folder for you.
Okay.
So I've pasted the command in the chat. So if you have git bash, open up your git bash preferably. If you're on Mac, just open up a terminal and type and pasting, type it. Okay, hello, can you guys hear me? Hold on, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this express generator, it's okay. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Just install it. Sorry. Install npm express generator -g. I'm just going to wait because I want everyone to do this so everyone can run this project and display something on their web page.
Hi,
So
Sam.
Hi.
I thought you said if we had Node installed, we should just type npm space -- version.
Yeah. Do you have Node installed?
Yeah, I have Node installed.
Yeah, just run this command. You already have npm.
Okay, what command, please?
I pasted it in the chat.
Okay.
So I just ran the command, but it's giving me some red errors. Error code EACCES.
What does it say?
It just say it says npm. It's a lot of error code.
Is that Otman?
Yes, this is Utman.
Mark?
Yes, Mark.
Okay. So while everyone else installs, Otman, I'm just going to let you share your screen. Let me see. Let me see if it's a permission issue.
Hey, hi Sam, Ola Daniels. The installation I'm doing is saying 1 deprecated mkdirp @@.5.1 legacy version of mkdirp are no longer supported. Please update to mkdirp 1.x. Note that the API surface has changed to
Same here.
Hold on. Are you on Windows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Because all this is becoming like Greek to me now. That's how I'm putting everything out so I can understand.
That's why I wanted to do the call so I can actually. Otman, please share your screen.
Yeah, it says you have disabled the screen sharing.
You legit read the whole thing out, like seriously.
All I have to do is now because I'm getting crazy around here.
Yeah, I can see access. So it's an access issue, right? So just do okay, do sudo. Since you're going to do sudo, use sudo to install it.
Huh?
Use sudo to install it.
What does that mean?
Just type in sudo.
Sudo.
No. sudo.
sudo.
Space or clear. Just clear. No. Clear. Don't put in your password. Press Ctrl C.
Command C.
Yeah. Control, not command. Ctrl C.
Ctrl C.
Yeah. So just press up. Go back to the npm command. Npm install. Just up, like history. No. Don't scroll up. Press your up arrow key. It's going to bring back the history of what you just. Go back to the npm install express generator. Then move your cursor to the beginning of npm. Back. Beginning, sorry, yeah. Sudo. Type in sudo space sudo space. Yeah, hit enter. Put in your Mac password.
It's not typing.
No. It's typing, but it's security. You will not see what you're typing. Just type in your password and hit enter.
I have to clear them.
Yeah, just clear it the end, then type in your password and hit enter. It's typing, but you can't see it.
see.
Yeah, so if you've installed it now.
So I should try the so
Okay,
will
so
I have the go ahead.
While you're here, so let's try generate an Express app for you. So just you've installed Express, right? So let me see. To generate a what's it called? To generate
Sammy, sorry, why is it showing 2 vulnerability and 1 moderate and 1 high? Is that
it's NPM stuff? It's NPM stuff. So it's just packaging stuff. I won't want to go into that. So Otman, just type in Express, the name of space, the name of the project folder, maybe the name of the folder I want to create. You can just call it MVC app or
MVC.
No, not just space.
App.
No space.
Let's see your screen now.
Okay, then space, view. I'm going to share this command in the chat. Equal to EJS. Yeah, hit enter. Okay, so it has, you are already in another folder. It has generated the whole setup for you. If you check now in your Black Force folder, you shouldn't have done this in another project. You're going to see an MVC app. Can you see that?
Oh yeah. But it's not showing like it showed in your own.
Okay, I have icons. Is that what you're talking about?
Huh?
Is this what you're talking about? Is someone raised this up?
Sammy, are we not supposed to first create a folder before
just
create a folder, go into the
folder?
folder?
You can create the folder while you're doing it. That's what
it generates a folder for you, La.
Oh.
So Otman, what are you saying?
No, I'm saying it's not showing like your own, all this app and the likes.
So we created this in another folder or in another project folder. What you do, click on file. Click on file. I can't see where your file is. Click on file. No, not new file. Your file in your VS Code. Up. Okay, this is Mac. Sorry, up your screen. File. Your file. The window up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Open folder.
You shouldn't touch the bridge because
Go into Black Force. Open the MVC app. Click on MVC app. Then click on open. Click on open. Just click on open. Yeah, so you have the same folder structure I have now.
So I'm good to go.
Yeah, you're good to go. Let me just help you.
Okay, should I stop sharing?
I stop sharing.
All right, thank you.
Sammy, what about Windows?
Yeah, you can type the command I gave on did bash and it's going to install Express Generator. So I wanted to be sure everyone has installed it before I give the next command that's Otman just ran. Has everyone installed Express Generator?
Oh, I gave you a series of words that it read out to me.
Okay. Ola, share your screen. Sorry.
So on Windows, I tried the npm install express and I got like the 0 vulnerabilities issues. And then I did npm I express. Okay, just like this, npm I express, and it worked.
No, Express is different from Express Generator. You have to install Express Generator to be able to generate those folder structure. Express Generator automatically helps you install Express, right? I'm going to paste the command again. This is what you should run.
And that gave these issues. And with that, so npm I express, it installs the packages and creates a folder itself.
Yeah, just npm I express generator. Ola, this is your screen?
Yep.
Yeah, if you've installed it, right? So these are just packages, these are just warnings.
So
read the thing.
What did you say? Yeah, so that you understand what I'm going through around here, you know?
Yeah, these are just warnings. So it's successful.
Oh, so how do I get all those folders you have, all those pre-installed folders you have on your site?
I'm going to get into that. I wanted to allow everyone, so I'll do one, but since you are here,
so you want all of us to get to this level?
Yeah, I wanted everyone to get to this level, so I won't be doing it one after the other for everyone.
Oh, I thought it was error and I closed it.
This is not error. It means you've installed Express Generator.
I mean, I'm getting something totally different.
Ola, I'm going to give everyone the code command to generate those folder once, right? So let's just try get everyone to this point. But okay, can you hear me, Ola?
Yeah, I can hear you. Should I stop sharing so that any other person can share the screen?
Yeah. We're going to get to the next point.
All right, let me stop sharing.
So the command you need to run, right? So let's just take this one step at a time, right? The command you need to run is npm install express generator, right? So if you got vulnerabilities, blah, 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 it's just a summary of what's like it's installed. It installed everything and just giving you a summary. So if you got that to that vulnerability part, it means it has installed successfully. Just ignore the vulnerabilities warning. It's just a warning. But if you have any like error, like you have an actual error like Otman did, you can just raise up your hands and now like let's
Sammy,
yeah?
I got npm should be run outside of the Node.js REPL.
No. You're running the command inside your Node repo. Run it. Are you on Windows or Mac?
Windows.
Run it. Do you have Git Bash?
Yes.
Run it in your Git Bash.
That's what I'm doing.
Share screen.
Gerald, I bring my phone.
Share screen. So what's the error? Where's the error? npm should be run outside of Node.js within your normal shell. Should to see. Yeah, exit. You're in. Just type in exit. Or type in hold down Control D, press Control D. You're in your Node repo. Control D.
Hold on. It's hanging all of a sudden. Let me move it to the second screen. Sorry about that. Sure. Okay.
I can't see your screen though. I can see your Black Force window, your GitHub repo.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it now. So, or delete this terminal and delete all your terminals. So just go to the right. No, not there. Yeah, delete all of them. Kill them.
Okay.
Open a new terminal. Switch to Bash. Change it from PowerShell to Git Bash. Sorry. No, not that. Yeah.
But Sammy, I run it on PowerShell and it's okay.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to be on the safer side, please.
Okay.
Then please leave. This is another project that has Git. So go out of this folder, go back. So go to just do cd ...
Okay.
Space dot. No, put a space.
Oh.
Cd space ... Okay, yeah. So you're now in your document folder. Paste the command now. Oh, it's even another command should npm install. What?
Sammy, someone I run that mine on a folder that had GitHub now, and it went to.
No, sorry. I just remembered we are not creating the folder yet. Yeah, you can run it from anywhere. npm should be run outside.
Out of OneDrive. OneDrive, is that not Microsoft Online something? Don't it on your system desktop, man.
Try it on your desktop. No. This is a global. Type in npm version. Let me see. This is a global command. Space -- version. Okay, this is weird.
What I'm saying, I'm talking about the location of this document is on OneDrive. It is supposed to be like Google Drive or for Microsoft. So I'm saying, why doesn't he use a system desktop or system document to use that with?
It means he has to change the saving where he saved it.
I think why. What I'm saying is npm install has nothing to do with your current file, and we are adding a -G, so it's
Global.
a global command. npm install express generator -G. So try it again. Let me see. Try it again. Press up. Go back to your npm install express generator. Up. Yeah. Try it in PowerShell. Are you sure you copy? Are you sure you not type it?
The other thing that you can do, you can use Ctrl+C.
It's still the same thing here.
I've not tried it.
Yes.
Just type it.
I should type it.
Yeah, let's see
PowerShell.
that. Type it in PowerShell or anywhere. Delete all those so you don't confuse yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, npm. Do npm space -- version. Let me see. Yeah, so npm install space express -generator.
Space dash.
Yeah. No, not space dash, just dash, like a hyphen connecting both of them. -generator. Generator. Then space -G. Hit enter. So you were copying a white space. You were copying something else. Yeah, so it's worked now. You have express generator installed. So let me just try get every other person up to speed.
Okay, thanks.
So Sammy, what do you think was the issue? Is it because he was using it because you had advised to use Git bash and
no, he copied and pasted. So I think before he copied both some formatting, maybe a white space or something, was messing up the command.
Okay.
So if you don't copy it properly.
Sorry, Sammy, please, I have a quick question from what happened just now. So all the files I've been creating on my VS Code are on my desktop. Is that how it's supposed to be? I don't want anything on my desktop. Can I change the location? Does it affect anything I created in the past?
You have the power, right? You can see you're creating the files. Are you creating them from the terminal?
I created everything from the VS Code, but I found out that they're all on my desktop, and I don't want them.
So let me share my screen and show you something now. I'll share my VS Code now. Can you see my code editor?
Yeah. Yes.
So if I go file, new file, it's going to, okay, this is how it helps me create a file, blah, blah, blah. And I click on save. Can you see this little modal?
You mean the terminal?
Not the terminal. Can you see a little window on my screen?
A little window of
my file system. You can't see my file system.
No, it's not showing.
No.
Okay. My point is, you're going to select by yourself where the file is going to be saved. So maybe you've been selecting desktop. Maybe you just type in the name of the file and click on save, but you can select the location.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's you're the one that is going to direct or tell VS Code where to save the file.
Even as it is, you can cut it and paste it everywhere you want to paste it.
Anywhere. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Even from your desktop,
I just want to be sure that whatever I've created in those files will not be affected.
No,
it won't.
Amobi, do you want to save it on cloud?
No, in documents.
Spare me, please. I want everyone to run this Express app. So let's just try. Spare me.
Hi, Sammy. Good evening. Yeah.
Hello.
So, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. So I've been trying all these commands, and I'm getting a command not found.
Okay. Are you on Windows or Mac?
Windows.
Okay. Share your screen. Let's see.
Okay. Oh, God.
Are you sharing? Okay.
Yes, we're sharing now. Let me know if you can see it.
Okay, it's up. So command not found. Bash. Do you have Node installed?
Yes, I think I do.
So try check node version. You don't have Node installed. So go to nodejs.org.
Okay, downloaded it. Oh.
If you downloaded it, you didn't run it down the installer. Is this you downloaded an installer? So if you downloaded it, check your downloads and see if you can just install it. Like it's an installer you downloaded. But if you want to do it again, you can just install. I think it should be very quick.
Sammy, I want to ask a question with this screen now. Is this not the GitHub? How do I say it? Is it not in his GitHub? What's it called?
Yeah, he's a folder. Yeah, he's in a GitHub project. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Obem, you're going to download it, right?
Yes, Node and run the installer.
Yeah, so just download, go to nodejs.org, download the LTS version, then run the installer. You're going to have Node.
Okay.
Asipo.
Hi. I don't know what you said we should install Express Generator G, right?
Yeah.
So I'm lost. I didn't get the link for the installation.
Okay, I'm just going to paste it in the chat, right? You have Node installed, right?
Yes, I do.
So I pasted it in the chat a while ago. Just run this command, copy paste it in your Git bash or maybe your VS Code terminal. npm install Express Generator -G.
Okay, I did that, but I had some errors.
Can you share your screen? Are you able to share your screen?
Sure, I can.
All right, please share your screen.
Thank you. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can. So try run command. Let me see. Hit enter. Are you on a Mac? Yeah. So use sudo.
Yes, I have a Mac.
Mac, and it's Wahala. So press your up arrow key. No, not there. Like just So
on my keypad.
Yeah, like this one. And then go back to use your back key to go push your cursor before npm, like back direction. Okay. Your arrow key. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't use your cursor. Yeah, you have to.
Okay, good.
Okay, type in sudo. So sudo just means, I think Otman was asking what sudo. Sudo means super user. So you're running it as an admin. Type in sudo sudo. sudo.
Okay.
No. You were writing.
Oh, sorry, my bad. sudo
space do then space before you hit enter. Yeah, hit enter. Put in your Mac password. Just type it in. It's not going to show anything, but just type in. You're typing. It's a security measure.
Enter.
Enter when you're done. Okay, you have it installed now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can start sharing.
All right.
So everyone has Express Generator installed, right? See where you can bring down your hand. Let me help you. Okay, cool. So let's go to the next step. Everyone has Express Generator installed with no issues, right? Great. So let's go to the next step. We're going to generate a skeleton Express project, right? Let me see. So we've installed Express Generator, right? and we just have the command. We can use express the same way we can use npm. We can now use express command in our on our computer, right? So if I go down here, so this is the command. If you do this, it's going to generate a skeleton app for you with the defaults, but I don't want us to use the defaults. I want you to be able to control what it does, right? Because we're going to be working with EGS. So to create a project, this is the command, right? Before I paste it, just hold on. So express the name of the folder, right? So this is just like an example, express local library. This is what they named it, right? So express the name of the folder, then --view. So view is just like a template engine used, right? So in our case, we are using EGS because it's EGS that I'm going to show you guys how to use. So we're going to change the view to EGS. So I'm going to copy this and paste in the chat. If you've installed Express Generator, please make sure you're not already in a project you created, maybe a GitHub repo or somewhere. Just maybe go to your documents or desktop, right? I'm sure everyone knows how to navigate their terminal. Let me share my screen. Let me share my VS Code before I drop this link. Here's my VS Code. Hold on. So I'm going to stop share. Share both my VS Code and this. So you guys can see my VS Code now, right? So before you run this command, right, make sure you are not, just do like we did when we were doing command line, like do pwd. Make sure you're not in a folder that already has Git, right? Because you want to generate a new project. If possible, just type in cd and hit enter. So it will go to your root directory, okay? This is just to save you the stress of having a project inside a project. So make sure, or you can as well close your VS Code and open it again and just open a new instance. So why I'm saying this, don't create a new project inside another project. I hope you understand that. So I'm going to paste the command now so everyone can run it. So chat. So npm, I'm going to edit the name of the folder to just have let's say MVC app. Okay, you can edit it if you want, but I named it MVC app view EGS. So I pasted this, right? So copy this, run it in your terminal, and it's going to generate the boilerplate I have for you. Express the name of the app. You can change it if you want, but I just called it MVC app. Then view equals EGS. So everyone should just copy this and run on their computer. Ola?
Mine gave me a huge error.
What error?
It says express column file my roaming can't be loaded because running scripts.
Because
running scripts is disabled on this system.
Windows.
What the same error?
Windows.
Share your screen. Let me see.
Okay.
Wait, let me stop sharing. Okay, share your screen. So every other person should run it.
So I got the same error.
Yeah, hold on. Let's try to see what the error is.
So this is my screen.
Please use Git bash.
Okay.
And secondly, you still running it on a document now. I think it's supposed to go to just the document.
You're still in the folder that has Git.
I in the folder.
Go just
no,
type
this is mine.
Type in CD.
Okay.
Just press CD.
Shift command.
Yeah. Then run. Paste the command again and run.
Express. View because EGS, yeah. Oh, it works on bash, but not not PowerShell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So please avoid PowerShell.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Shalom.
Hi. Yeah. So I was just wondering, like, all the, what do they call it? All these codes were running. I've been running it on my coding folder that I made for all the stuff, and it works. So I don't know if that really matters. Like, everything was
it's going
right.
to work, right? I'm not saying it won't generate the folders, right? But well, I'm just trying to help so you don't create a project inside an already running project, right? So if Ola had done this in his previous HTML project, he would have hosted this in his Git repo for another project, and it's just going to mess things up for him. So I was just trying to say, I was saying that so you don't create it, because this is a full app. We are going to initialize Git in it again, and when you have two Git in one folder, it's going to conflict. So I was just saying that so you don't create a project folder inside another project folder.
And now I can't really find the file here.
Yeah, you have a different folder open. Click on file. You have to open that folder. You generated a project. Click on file, open folder. Yeah, it should be in your, just click on, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
Really?
Go back. Go to this PC. It's on your this PC.
Oh. Where are you?
Just close this, close this, close this, close this. Cancel this.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Type in PWD in this your terminal. No. Type in PWD. It's on users weird saucer. Do you know where the folder is?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so open folder. Where is your weird saucer folder? Yeah,
wow.
so you see your Blackforce app here.
How? I was expecting it to be in this Blackforce, in the documents.
Yeah, so you did that. You can move it out. You can move it out. Have you copied it? You can go to your file explorer outside VS Code, cut it and put it wherever you want to put it, and you have it there.
That's from here.
You can't do it from here. You just have to select it from here. Just close your VS Code. You can do that.
Okay.
You can just stop sharing and do that. It's easy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me see if any other person has.
I still have a question. So
okay.
So for yours, how you got your folder was the same, the way Ola, you're asking Ola to do it now. Is that correct? Because mine like when I ran it, it just gave me the folder on my coding folder itself.
Yeah,
so I just
are you able to share a screen? Let me understand what you're explaining.
Okay.
Yeah, so just share a screen so it will be better. We have a few more minutes. I just need to confirm everyone has installed, is able to run that command. Then we'll start our server. Okay, so yeah, you run it. Yeah. So yeah, you have the app, right? MVC app. Well, can you see what I'm telling you? You run the command in a folder that already has Git, right? Yeah, so maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow, I want us to initialize Git in this because this is another project, right? And if you have two Git repos in one folder, it's going to conflict. So I was just asking you to go a step out because this is a project, and if like each project has a Git repository, right? So I was just asking you to go a step out and create this new folder so you don't have two projects and two Git repositories inside one folder. I don't know if that is clear.
So basically, I need to create a new folder just for MVC and Node.
No, the command creates the folder for you, right? But if you've already done this here, so just right click on MVC app, delete it. Okay. How did Node get here?
From the Express thing. It was when I ran the Express that it gave me that, I believe.
Okay, you didn't add the -g flag, right? So just you can delete it. You can leave it or delete it. If you delete it so it doesn't confuse you and your project, delete it. Then delete the two packaged log.json and package.json. So here's what you're going to do, right? Go back, click on file. open a folder, open folder. So look for a folder that doesn't have, so your coding folder, HTML has Git initialized. So you can just open, like just click on desktop. So let's create a new folder for you in your desktop. Maybe you can move it around later. Then click on select folder. Yes, I trust it's your computer. So open up a terminal. Then you can run the command, right? Express. Please move to bash, git bash. Did yours work with PowerShell initially?
No, I didn't use that. I just used git bash. So you're saying rerun the codes now, right?
Yeah. Just open up git bash.
Okay.
Windows users, please try to avoid PowerShell as much as you can. Your desktop already has Git. Initialize Git on your desktop.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so let's go to your documents folder. I'm trying to do this, so when we get, or maybe Wednesday on Thursday, I won't help you solve another issue, right? So just from there, just type in CD. Just type in CD and hit enter. Then your root folder has Git.
I see. Please, Sammy, please don't even. Please.
Okay.
Please,
Sammy, how do you know the root folder has Git? Me looking at
status. Type in Git status. Let me see. Okay, I'm not sure. Type in Git status. Let me see. She has Git there.
No, I'm just wondering how you're able to dictate that without even.
Look at master. It's showing the branch she's on. So there's a Git repository. So Shalom, I think I'm going to get you after this class. So I'll help you remove all this stuff, right?
I have the same.
The same here.
Sammy, but I mean, like, it worked. So I mean, like, the assignments were hosted. So I don't know. It wasn't meant to.
It's bad. First of all, you're going to, it's bad practice to initialize Git. Then you're going to fall into issues sometimes, right? So I'm going to call you later to just clear this up. But for now, just go into your document folder. Let's create a folder for your documents.
Hey, Jesus Christ.
The CD.
Sorry, you have to walk this thing for everybody because I want to ask you.
Yeah, I even got it.
From the root, there is Git.
Shall I put a space? Let's just wrap this up. Shall I put a space? Okay. Then documents, type in your capital letter D though. No, capital letter D. Then hit tab to complete it for you. Hit tab. No, go back. Yeah, hit tab now. Are you hitting tab?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, then hit enter. No, yeah, hit enter now. Yeah, you see how, okay. Then type in the express command. So let's generate a folder here for you. I'm going to clear this up for you later. No, not npm, express.
What did we even do again? Let me just find it. Is it the last one that you posted?
Yeah, the last one. Yeah, so you've kind of created the boilerplate, right? So click on file. Let me help you open it to your VS Code. Click on file, open folder, documents, go to your documents. Then what did you name the file? Are you in documents? No, you're in quick access, right?
The desktop.
No, not desktop. Go to document. We changed, we went to documents. Then you're going to see what's the name of the file, MVC app. Yeah, open.
Yeah.
Select folder. Yeah, so you have the same structure which I had. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is to maybe
Sammy, sorry, but your own has two packages. Are we supposed to have one? You see the last.
Hold on. Everyone is going to have 2 packages. Just hold on, right? So Sharon, you can stop sharing now. We're going to run one last command before we go. But the thing is, I want everyone's server to be able to start. So when I share links, everyone is going to be able to test whatever they are doing themselves. Because if I've let you guys do this on your own, we're going to everyone was going to wait for me till the next class. So everyone ran the last command. So Grace, you have an error. Everyone ran the last command successfully, right? Yeah, okay. I'm just going to share my screen and so run the last command, then your server will start. I'm going to share this. You guys can see my code editor, right?
Yeah.
So everyone, what I want you to do, right? So what I did for both Ola and Shalom, go to your VS Code, right? Click on File. If you don't already have that folder created opened, click on File. Click on Open Folder and look for that folder you could open. Right? If the name is MVC App, look for MVC App. Open it, and whatever I change the name to, just make sure the folder you have on your VS Code here is what is it called? Is the folder we generated with Express. So again, open your VS Code, File, Open Folder, then open MVC App or whatever you changed the name to if you did.
Sorry, do you want to come again?
Come again.
Okay, so everyone ran this command. Hello?
Sammy, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. I don't have controller inside mine.
Just hold on. You don't need to have you. Let me delete. So let me limit the confusion. I'll delete my controller and my model. This is how you're now.
I don't have Node.
Okay, we're going to have it. Just hold on. The last command I'm going to paste now, you're going to have any of this stuff I have here. Okay.
So can you go through the process? Say we should go to open folder, then go to MVC app on our system, right?
Yeah, open MVC app. I want the folder or the project you have on your VS Code to be MVC app or whatever you named the project we created.
Mine is not on this side like yours. It's just on the pop-up of Explorer.
Right? I said it the last time. It's just let me okay. So I think whenever I want to present my screen, I'll switch this to the left so everyone will have the same thing. So
no, it's not even about switching it to the left. It's about that I don't have it listed like this. It's just on that Explorer pop-up when you say open folder.
Yeah, but how did you apply colors to your folder?
Let's not. We have
just cool.
All these are plugins, and like I've been using VS Code for a very long time, so I've customized my VS Code. So let's not get into that, right? So what I just want, okay. I think let me do something. Let me close this folder. I'm going to open a random folder. So this will just go out. I'm going to open this chess game I built. I'm going to just clear this off, right? No. Okay, so what I want everyone to do, right? When you run this command, this express blah blah blah. Can you guys hear me? When you run this command, you created a folder called MVC app. Go to your VS Code, click on File, Open Folder, and look for that folder you created, right? Mine is in my dev, and the name of my app is MVC tutorial. I'm going to just click on Open.
So if mine is on the user, where will I check it out? Where will I check it for?
So go to your this PC, click on local, what's it called? Local seed, your C drive, scroll down, go to users, and maybe you see the folder in there.
Okay, this PC, C drive.
Okay, so Sam, I have mine right in my Salesforce folder. Is that okay?
Yeah. What I want you to do is just make sure, in fact, make sure when you do PWD in your terminal, it points to that folder, right? So I think I even have an issue here. Open. So when you do when you do pwd your tab before we run the next command, so you don't go and install your dependencies in another folder, right? So make sure when you do pwd in your terminal, it points to that folder. So let me just go to mine, dev MVC app, MVC tutorial, right? So if you can see my screen, I do pwd. The last folder is my MVC tutorial. Make sure you're in the correct folder. If I give the next command.
What is PWD?
PWD means print working directory.
Okay, so I tap PWD and it's just saying C/user/PC. Is that okay?
No, is that where is your folder open? Like, is the folder open on the right?
No, it's not open on the right, that's what I'm saying.
Make sure can you navigate from your terminal? Make sure.
Yeah, I can navigate open. You mean the terminal?
How are we going to do this now? How are we going to do this? What's the easy way to do this? Okay, I want us to run a command, right? But the command needs to be run inside the folder we just created, the skeleton app we just created. So,
okay, so should I so how do I get to that skeleton app we just created? Because PWC is not getting me to that place you're talking about.
What do you have on your VS Code?
On my VS Code, I just
what folder is open here? What folder is open on your VS Code?
Okay, I don't have that. I don't have this MVC open on my VS Code.
So from your terminal, right? Do you know where the MVC app is on your computer?
Yeah, I know.
From your file explorer, go navigate to the folder, right click on it and open with VS Code.
Oh.
Hi, Shalom.
Oh, sorry. I'll drop my hands.
Okay.
Maybe you should share screen so you can direct him.
So you won't be able to see the pop-up for the Explorer.
Oh.
You guys won't see that.
And are you on Windows?
Huh?
Are you on Windows?
Can you copy or cut the folder and just paste it on your desktop so you know where it is?
Just copy and paste the folder on your desk. Thank you. I think that's the easiest solution. So we don't have people looking for their folder. If you are having issues searching for your folder, just go and copy or cut it and paste it on your desktop so it can be easy for us. I want to assume every other person has this correctly, right? You said no?
We do it tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. No problem. I'll wait.
I'm going to give exercises, and you're going to need this to run. I just want everyone, or at least 60 or 70% of your servers to run. So the next command, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
If you have the correct stuff, right, you're in your correct folder in your terminal, run npm install.
Can you repeat that?
We did this before.
I don't think I'm getting.
No, we did not do this. We've not done this. Just run npm, not npm install express or npm install anything. Just npm install. So long as you are in your MVC app or whatever you named it folder, type in hit npm install.
It says added 53 packages and audited 54 packages in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Mine was 54.
Don't worry, as long as it ran and you installed packages, just hold on.
Sammy, please, where do you want us to run that, please?
Make sure the MVC app folder you created, right?
Yeah, it's on my VS Code, just like yours.
Yeah, but make sure you are like that is where, can you do print working directly? Make sure that is where you are on your terminal. Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, then run npm install.
All right, so Sammy, I ran the npm install from my folder, but I have errors.
Okay, what error?
It says error code, like there's some 8 to 9 different kind of errors. A complete log of this can be found, and then there's an output here.
Are you able to share your screen? We have 5 more minutes, so are you able to share your screen?
All right, sure. It says can't share for now.
Okay.
All right, where's my? Oh, can you see my screen?
Yeah. Open npm install. No such file directly. Salesforce developer. Type in pwd. So I think you're in the wrong folder.
Oh, okay.
This
When I
is
type,
PowerShell. Please change to bash.
oh, okay.
So we know where our diagnosis is. So you're in another folder, right? Did you create the MVC app?
Yes, I did. See it right here.
Okay. Type in ls. Let me see if it's there. Yeah, so do cd MVC app. So I think everyone is creating MVC app. Type hit tab, MVC. Just type MV, hit tab. Yeah, enter. Then run npm install. Yeah,
Sammy, I think
So,
I did it too. You may want to just see mine.
oh, so it was because of the bash. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so
Please, let me quickly share, please, Sammy. Just look at it and that's it.
Yeah, you can share. Please.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to show everyone how to run their server before we go, because I want.
Look at what I have.
Did you run it on your desktop?
Did I do what?
Let me see. You run it for your desktop. You run it on your desktop.
Yes. I don't have it on file.
Okay, your MVC app, where did you create it? Where is your MVC app folder? Type in ls in your terminal and please switch to bash, git bash. Type in ls, let me see. No, not npm install again. Type in ls.
Okay. ls.
Clear one, just type in, I just want to see where you are. What folders are there?
Okay, so just clear one.
No. Clear everything, Grace.
Okay.
Okay, now type in ls since you have a plain. Can you scroll up? Is the MVC app there? I'm looking for the MVC app.
I don't even know where it is myself. I don't know.
Like, okay. Since we are here, generate another one. So expand your time. Just generate another one.
Okay.
You're going to look for the other one later. Expand your time. Yeah.
So
scroll down to the very last part. So let me help you generate another one. Just do express space MVC app. No space between the MVC and app.
Is it not going to give it another name? So I don't have duplicate.
Hold on, Grace, we're not done. Express. Wait, you don't have Express installed? The same command not found.
I tried opening a new file when you were telling somebody, and I think I did it in the previous one before I opened the new.
No, it's not about file. Paste it. I pasted something in the chat now. Just copy and paste it in your terminal now, please.
Okay.
So seriously. Have you hit enter?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then now type in Express. Don't hit enter until I tell you to hit enter. Express.
Okay.
Space. Use another name. Use Black Force app. So in case the other folder is here, we don't get into conflict.
Together or space?
Yeah, together. Then space, dash, view, equal sign, EGS. Hit enter. Yeah, then do CD black force.
I should do what?
CD, like move into black force, CD.
Okay, CD.
Yeah, space. Just type in black force with a capital letter B.
Okay.
And hit tab. Just hit tab now. No, I did not say hit enter. Hit tab so it will complete it for you. Black, just
I
press
should do it again.
Yeah, you're not in the folder yet. No, CD. Change directory.
Okay.
Space. Black force. Hit tab, your tab.
Okay, my tab. Right now, before I tab, black force.
Just tab above caps lock, tab.
Yes, tab.
Okay, you have many black force. Just type it completely. Black force app. You have so many black force.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And hit enter. And now type in npm install. No. Space. There are 2 words. Yeah.
Enter.
So it's going to install dependencies and you can start your server. So here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, you're okay now. Stop sharing.
Thank you.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put if anyone is having issues, I'm going to put the remaining steps maybe in a document and share. But for those that already have the packages installed from the same, from the same folder, like if you've done npm install, just do npm start, right? It's going to start your server and you can access your server from your browser on localhost 3000. So I'm going to share all these remaining steps in the chat because we will not spend we already spent 2 hours 25 minutes, right? So I think we achieved a lot, right? Most people got the whole Express stuff and a few persons are going to be able to start their server, but we're going to continue tomorrow. I'm going to send documents after the class, okay? So I think I need to stop here. I'm going to take questions tomorrow, so thank you everyone. Any Omobi? Let me take Omobi. You have your hands up.
We'll continue tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you very much for.
Yeah, Sammy.
Thank you very much for helping us.
Yeah, Sammy.
Yeah?
Can I quickly share my screen? So I'm having an issue with the npm install.
Can we do that tomorrow?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So
just
please.
that I did, after running it, I did not get message saying the file has been installed. And I noticed the only thing that comes up is package lock JSON and app.js.
Yeah, you're successful. Thank God. You don't need to share you're successful. Just run npm.
You're successful. Just go to localhost column 3000.
I saw script.js in your file.
I created that manually.
Oh, okay.
I think everyone is so particular about what I have on my screen.
Yeah, because no, people were saying number of files installed, this, that, but me, I'm not seeing anything saying this number of files installed. Nothing like that.
You were successful. Just run npm start and you'll be able to access your.
Okay, thanks.
So I think we'll continue.
Good night, Sammy. I mean, what do you mean by local 3000? What should we type that?
Browser.
Go to a fresh browser. Localhost column 3000.
Column 3000.
Okay, so is that when you see the Express? Welcome to Express.
Yeah, that's where you see.
Yes.
Good
night, Sammy.
Thank you, Sammy. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Sammy, good night.
Yeah, thanks very much.